Hello, will be first segment on eco-tribalism, or neo-tribalism as it has been called before. So, it's also holographic in terms of it goes from an atom to a cell to a body or the solar system. Now, the maximum numbers in an atom, 92 protons in the uranium. Even that is radioactive. Groups over 60 can be radioactive. And we all know about radioactive, right? Groups can fall apart when they are radioactive into two separate groups, into different isotopes and such and like. Yes, it is quite interesting. Quite interesting. So humans can live in these societies and tribes, and that's what we've done for many years. But with the development of slave cities or slave factories in cities, and now more than 50% of the population lives in slave cities, right? Where basically we, or whoever is, I mean, I'm living in one. I'm just not slave laboring because I've cast lots of magic spells for, sustainable income, that kind of stuff. Anyhow, but if we lived in a tribe with, a group of people that we knew, and we have our own laws within our tribe, we can do this by implementing local override, which is something that's already been done in California with the marijuana laws. Basically, the state has overridden the federal law that says marijuana is not legitimate, period, by saying it is legitimate in certain cases. So by extending this local override, we can facilitate neo-tribalism on a larger scale. Of course, I promote starting small and working incrementally as the Seasteading Institute. So within our eco-tribe, or neo-tribe, holographic tribe, we can produce products to have a productive, instead of a consumerist religion, belief system that we live by. In the Western society, we can have a productive producer where we're actually creating physical items. There are physical items that we can create. For instance, this simple toy is something that cats like to play with frequently. But right now it's daytime, so they're kind of sleepy. And see, we can also produce models and boats. It's quite possible. You see, even me, white person, yeah, look at that. I can build stuff. Yeah, it doesn't just have to be people in China and the Congos or Philippines or wherever. We really have the option of creating our own harmonious societies full of love and contemplation. Yep. So with our laws, since they'll be different in different sectors, we can have a network that, like say a radio beacon, that announces what the laws of your little tribe are. And the laws can be small enough that any member of the tribe can remember them. unlike the current overgrown judicial system, which no one can remember. It's impossible. Like, there's petabytes of information there in the Congress libraries and all that, and in order to get any kind of... So now we have all of these loopholes, and they work based on how rich you are. Like, that's how much you can bribe the judge or the judicial system, and eventually the other person will run out of money before you do, or nothing will happen for a really long time if you're both really, really rich. As was the case with the founder of Scientology. You know, he basically, even though they were suing him, it was fine because he just could afford the lawyers. Anyhow, with a tribal society, we can also have barter economics, where we actually have price calculations. Right now, what we have is just utility, okay, with our price calculation formulas. If you study economics, you'll know this. What I'm suggesting is to add in a host of other variables, such as the mass of the product, the time, perhaps, if it is a service that it was required, to the chakra, which is one of the Hindu chakras, also supported by Ra and many other multi-layered octave-based societies, such as music. You know, the octaves da do ti ti do ra da ba. Anyhow, we then can multiply that by utility and divide the whole thing by the abundance, which can be a percentage. So, for instance, a material such as gold could be a small fraction of a percent of all of the metals available on this planet. And that way we could calculate its abundance. And being less than a whole, it would increase the price of it. You see? So we can even include scarcity into our price calculation formula, which is the inverse of abundance. Anyhow, it's quite doable. We just need the software, since humans, we've been engineered not to have very great brain sex. But we have great bodies, could manipulate stuff, and we do have great brains. We can think of things. But these computers over here really help facilitate longevity, and we can get robot host bodies and then transfer our mind and then our souls as well. Just have like a soul container of some kind for that kind of stuff. But maybe it'll turn out that just transferring the mind is enough. Then you can have lots of copies of yourself and talk to yourself. And it can be quite interesting. Multiplexing.